Hello, here we are back again with the evolving collapse and meltdown of our political parties and our whole political system as we know it right here in the United States. It is happening before our eyes. We have so much time now being locked down by this virus to really look at the information that's coming out of the White House and out of other news outlets to really inform ourselves. We do know what's going on. Yes, they're fighting amongst themselves, but we do know what is going on. We are intuitive and we know what is right. We know what is true. If not initially, then over time, we finally get it. Hi, this is JJ from Paranormal Talks, paranormaltalks.com. We are educational. I am back with an update about the political meltdown of our political parties. In particular, who's going first? The Democrats. Can you tell? I'll be reading from the Alta report from Half Past Human. That's where you get those reports. They are very accurate, predictive reports. They have an 80 to 95% accuracy, and they have decades of a track record of that accuracy. So I'll be reading a very condensed, edited portion of that political area for just the United States. Since the Alta reports are very lengthy, 25 or more pages, they cover the United States and other countries. We'll just be focusing on the United States since we have only so much time. And I also want to thank my new subscribers. It's so great to see the numbers increasing. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It's always great to have more of you and hear your comments. And I love a party. The more, the merrier. Let me share the screen with you. I always like to start by showing you our website. Here it is. If you want to know more about me, just click on About Us, scroll down, and there she be. Then I also like to show as a baseline, because some people do not see the this cheat sheet and the cycles that we are now in. There are three major cycles that are impacting us right now, hence all the craziness. It's financial, it's political, and it is governmental. All of those are crashing down around our ears. The one we're talking about during this video is the Pluto and Capricorn. I use the technical astrological language, since every sciences have their own language. So there it is. And then I have the English translation. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And expanding that. Let me show you the Alta report I'm pulling from. Now, with every prediction, whether it's an economist predicting something, a financial advisor predicting something, or any of the very expensive investment newsletters, or any type of newsletter that is predicting something for us, it's always tough to get the precise date, a month, day, and year. And the only system I have found that has a high level of accuracy, up to 100%, is the Socrates quantum computer system. Next in line is astrology. And then also we have this asymmetric linguistic trends analysis report. And this is words harvested from the entire internet. Now, linguistic means languages, not only the English language, but all languages that are used around the world and that are typed into the internet when people communicate with each other in their own language. We are psychic by nature. We show up, we're born with that, and our psychicness about what's happening in the future leaks out unbeknownst to us when we're typing stuff and communicating with each other. And that's what the Alta report is about. Now, you see that I'm pulling from the December 2015. Now, Cliff High, he harvested the linguistics, that is all the words, the linguistics, which is all the words, from the internet in 2014 in order to produce this report. I find the events that he's mentioning here highly accurate. Again, dates, years, that's a tough part with any prediction. But the events, Cliff High reports, very accurate, very good. We can already see many of these events happening right now in 2020. And that's what I want to read to you today. Let's scroll through this. And you can get this at halfpasthuman.com, his reports. And this is just an introduction so you understand what this linguistics is, what it pulls from. Cliff High, he developed this entire software system to harvest words around the internet and assign an emotional metric to each word. Predictive linguistics is the process of using computer software to aggregate vast amounts of written text from the internet. That's written text in all languages across the internet by categories delineated by emotional content of the words. How emotional are those words? What's the bam of the emotions of the word? Predictive linguistics uses emotional qualifiers and quantifiers. That's a very good analysis methodology. Qualifiers and quantifiers expressed as numeric values for each and all words, phrases discovered, filtered by the aggregation process. The aggregation process, Cliff High wrote that himself, probably in PHP programming language. I'm not sure, but I think that's what he may have used. Over 80% of all the words gathered will be discarded for one or more reasons. So these reports take a huge amount of work, even with the filtering software systems, modules that Cliff High uses. So these reports are very good, very accurate, and very valuable. Let's scroll down. I wanted to show you the section. There are many sections. He calls them entities, which I call buckets. This is where words that apply to this particular area, he puts all those words in that bucket or that entity. We're going to be reading from the USA population bucket, all the words that fall into there. All subsets of the populace of the planet within our model space are identified by either a geospatial term, such as a regional territorial label, alpine population, or a geopolitical label, Canadian population. These are used to isolate the subsets of the global populace to which the terms are being applied in the forecast. The terrestrial references are frequently used to provide a context of shared views, concerns, as in those things all mountain-dwelling people will have in common, separate from other humans. Okay, so that's the parameters of the words. Okay, and that's where that guy is. Do I want to show you anything else? Oh, yeah, here's a Space Ghost Farts, which may be mentioned. You can read that yourself. This is information that is denied by our government and linguistic structure, etc. Okay, that goes away now. Okay, now I'm going to read to you the U.S. population. This has to do with our political system right now, even though the data was gathered in 2014. Ignore the dates that are mentioned here. Even though he may mention 2016, I feel that a lot of these events did not manifest prior or at the 2016 election of Donald Trump. From the activity we see going on today, which is May of 2020, so far, more of these events are happening, have already happened since January of 2020, all the way through now into May 2020. By the way, the Socrates quantum computer system, as of May 2020, Martin Armstrong did mention that the computer system is showing a huge spike in increased rioting and destruction of personal property occurring this summer. That system has 100% accuracy, but this Alta report seems to have 100% accuracy as of May 2020, and there's still more to come. So this is evolving. So let me know your thoughts on this. Many things have already happened. So let's begin. The US population, this is America now. The new data sets for the fracturing of the political process within the United States population has been joined by new growth in political crises from the immediacy and shorter term sets. These sets are suggesting that both political parties are going to come unglued as we move into 2016. And I would say as we move into 2020, that's both political parties, that's Democrat and Republican. The Democrats are going first. They are melting down. There are lawsuits against specific individuals in the political party. And just recently, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, she's trying to pull a fast, well, they're dying, so they're very desperate. They're doing incredible, stupid, unconstitutional things, which will not stand. The data sets are suggesting that an issue of mental infirmity will arise due to actions on a stage, as well as videos of mental breakdowns reaching visibility. Now, the word that I just read, mental infirmity, if you just want to look at the dozens of videos of Joe Biden, the alleged Democratic candidate for president for the 2020, just look at those and tell me about mental infirmity. There's more. In other sets, we find that strategic money, those who pay, will abandon the presumed candidate as several forms of serious, deep, and widespread political protests emerge around the personality involved. This late state abandonment is part of the fracturing process that will bring the political dissolution out into the open. The data sets that the first in a series of major political crises will emerge late in the first week of December that will come to dominate the rest of the insofar as the political discourse. Now, again, ignore the dates, even though they call the month December or 2016, ignore those. This is 2020, and I feel that this is already happening. This is in play now. This is a significant temporal marker for the fracturing of the aspirations of those who back the political candidate, and that may very much refer to Joe Biden. Other new sets are going to the crash of the new liberal conservatives in Washington, D.C., as several breakdowns occur within the money system that supports their academic models. These breakdowns, by the way, the academic models, those can also refer to these software models that predicted all the people who were going to die by the virus, and nothing came of it. In fact, it was a ridiculous, embarrassing, silly model, which came out of academia. That may be one of the references that holds water as of May 2020. These breakdowns are indicated to gut, like a fish, the political teams that have been assembled as the participants flee the signs of a loser. So they flee the signs of a loser. These sets relate to the problems caused by the Washington, D.C. power cabal in the rest of the world. New attempts to create a new front of concern, worry about violence are going to backfire on the new conservative liberals, as they will become hostage to their own created drama and unable to extricate themselves. Other issues are forecast by the data sets to be dominating as we move through this next year. And actually, that might be more accurate to say 2021. I mean, actually accurate, even though all this data was pulled in 2014. In longer term data, the new and growing sets have an armed confrontation between states and the federal government as borders are closed and refugees refused entrance. Okay, this was pulled together in the end of 2014, published in 2015. None of this had happened. It has now happened. Borders are closed because of the virus, and refugees are refused entrance because of the virus. Although this report doesn't mention anything about a virus, it does mention a lot about a mold but not a virus. This appears in the data sets as a Western state versus Eastern power block confrontation through the mainstream media. And much of the news sets are crossed links over to the fake news entity, where the terminating sets include propaganda and push for internal war. These sets may be forecasting their temporal markers as early as 2017. Remember, ignore that date. The data sets within the US population also contain growth for secession, that is, a state wanting to separate, which has already been discussed at length starting January 2020 of Virginia counties, Second Amendment counties, wanting or being invited to secede to West Virginia. Remember, West Virginia seceded from Virginia starting in 1861, and West Virginia became its own state. Well, and it may become a bigger state if the governor of Virginia continues down his imprudent path against the population. So there's a growth for secession and governors being disposed and coup d'etats and takeover and mobs rampaging through state capitals and other language indicating a political process in turmoil. This is going on right now in Michigan because good old Gretchen, the governor of Michigan, she's not doing too well, is she? The new growth sets are pointing towards hyped up media reports about refugees and the presidential election cycle as being huge contributors to the upcoming revolt of the governors. The gist of the battle will be about the imposition of jihadists on local states' rights and the conservative populations of the states chosen by the presidential decree to be recipients of the refugee flights. Let's see what happens with this. A lot of it seems, a lot of it is right on. I mean, this is what I call a hit. This is what I call a web bot hit. It hit many places here. This is May of 2020, and these events, many of them have already occurred, and there's more to come. And this is what the WebBot report has told us, the Alta report, whatever you want to call it. So stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. It's always great to have more people. And again, thank you so much for joining me again. It's very much of a blessing. And for now, this is JJ from Paranormal Talks, and we'll be talking to you later. Thank you so much. Bye.